Let me catch my breath real quick before I begin this video. Okay, so if you guys are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I have some things that I wanted to share with you guys prior to, talking about this little story that I have for you guys from 2 years ago. I believe it was 2 years ago because I am now 22. I turned 22 on March 11th. After going through this pregnancy and having a lot of time on my hands because I do work from home, so I'm pretty much just at home waiting for the baby's arrival, which should be hopefully in 5 weeks. My due date is on 4/20, and I'm just patiently waiting because I've been so sick. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you guys have kind of like seen some updates and stuff. That's why I've kind of been taking a break from making videos. I know my video thing, like if you go on my YouTube channel, it says like new videos every Monday. That's kind of like what I wanted to touch up on or whatever. And to be honest, I'm not a beauty blogger. This isn't a beauty channel. I did start off doing beauty, and don't get me wrong, I still love makeup. I'm still going to do tutorials. I'm still going to do things that are like beauty related, but what I kind of wanted this channel to be was just me upload whatever I want whenever I want. So you guys can go ahead and request things if you want, but to be honest, like if I don't feel it at the moment, like if you guys say, for example, request like a tutorial or something, or maybe if it's like super requested, I don't know, but I do stress out when I read too many comments on my comment feed or whatever. I understand everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I totally get that, and I understand that not everybody's gonna like me. But ever since I've been pregnant, I get anxiety, and that's something that I've been struggling with throughout my pregnancy. And I don't like to read up on my comments because it stresses me out when you guys like point out little shit or people say like bad things or whatnot. And please don't say like ignore them. I really fucking hate when people say that, like ignore them, be the bigger person. I'm not bigger than anyone, so I'm just gonna be my person. So if I want to say something and you guys think I'm a bitch, so be it, whatever. Disregard the new video every Monday. Like I said, from now on I'm gonna upload whenever I want, whenever it feels right, because if something is forced, it doesn't really come out good. And I haven't really been super happy with doing what I'm doing. And when you're doing something that you're supposed to love and people kind of like fuck it up for you, it really sucks, because this is my job. I work from home. So I started to realize that I just want to do whatever it is that I want, and I've kind of already have been doing that. But this whole like, oh, I want to do beauty videos, it's kind of hard to be your own person when you're constantly seeing other people's videos and they're uploading like these fabulous ass tutorials, and they have like a fabulous ass like lighting setup. And to be honest, I'm just not like that, and I've come to realization that I am not that, you guys. Like, I am me. But to be honest, don't expect a lot from me within the next 2 months, or who knows, maybe since I'm like making this change, I'll make a video of me clipping my fucking toenails, like if you guys want to know, because those are struggles that I think everybody should know about. Like, for example, how to take off acrylic nails. A lot of you guys are always like, oh my god, like you should take off your nails. Like, no, like that shit hurts, and I'm not the type of person to go to the nail salon and have them soak them off. This was my last set. This was my Chapo nails that I had, and I'm planning to not have nails on for when the baby's here or whatever. And yeah, that's what I decided on. So that's my last set until the baby is bigger, before I plan to get another full set. So anyways, with that being said, I really appreciate those of you guys who fuck with me. And again, if you guys want to fuck with me, you can fuck with me. If you don't want to fuck with me, you don't have to fuck with me. But you're still watching though, so it's like people love drama, and I always try to hold back from saying what I feel is right in my opinion or whatever, because people get their panties in a bunch and then they start commenting or whatever. But like I said, people love drama, so you know what, it is what it is. And what else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, this is me in my natural habitat. I just took a shower. I don't wash my hair every single day just because I'm trying to let it grow out and stuff, and you gotta let the natural oil seep in. But I do shower every single day. And I usually chill with my sports bra on, but the reason why I have this sports bra on is because I'm making a video, and obviously I'm not going to be walking around with my chichis out. But normally when I'm here, like at my house, like just me, like literally in my natural habitat, you guys have seen pictures of what I look like. I'm usually topless, or I'm wearing just like just wearing like my boyfriend's like tank tops or whatever, just what helps me feel comfortable, because like I said, I've been dealing with anxiety, and I just feel like I can't breathe and stuff since I've been pregnant. So again, that's what I've been dealing with. And I'm always drinking water. That is a big recommendation for you guys if you are pregnant. I don't feel like doing my makeup. My mustache is grown out to the fullest right now. If I zoom in, you guys could probably really see it. I mean, the struggle is real. And my eyebrows are bushy, and I just don't feel like putting on makeup. And then when I do decide to put on makeup and like I put it on, I'm just like, why the fuck am I wearing this? Like, I can't do that. Like, some people were telling me or tagging me in, like, you know how the girls like are giving birth and then they have their makeup on. That's totally cool. Like, if you want to look cute like for labor, you know, for your pictures, and that's your thing, and you love makeup like to that extent, go for it. But I am not that type of person, dude. I did not shave my vagina for like over a month. Like, it was a disaster. And then when I decided to shave, I was like, all right, you know what, like, this is kind of gross. Like, I gotta shave already. I fucking look like a chungo. And I decided to shave, and I couldn't see what I was doing because like my stomach is like big now, so it like covered my crotch. So when I got out of the shower, I had not bald spots, I had patches of like long pelos like in certain sections, so I had to go back and shave again. So it's just like, it is what it is, you know. Pregnancy is hard. I don't care what any of you guys say. There's some people who are like, pregnancy is a beautiful thing, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, you don't fucking know what I feel. Like, you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I feel like when I wake up in the morning, during the day, afternoon. You don't know, bitch. So don't fucking run your mouth, because I hate bitches like you. And I get really bad gas. It's not funny. Like, for reals. I have to wake up in the middle of the night. Oh my god, I'm rambling too much, you guys. I wanted to tell you guys this story that I was thinking about when I was like in the shower or whatever, because it's been 2 years exactly. St. Patrick's Day 2 years ago, because I think I was like 19 or 20. I know I was underage because you know when you're underage, like, you just like want to party a lot. So I was like reminiscing on like this shit that I used to do back in the day. I was so stupid. Like, you guys, I've grown so much. Like, believe it or not, a lot of you guys think that I'm like still immature, whatever it is, what it is. But I have grown so much from 2 years ago till now. And I think now that I like look back and kind of like think about like all the things that I used to struggle with emotionally, because I'm a very emotional person. And I think I used to think upon emotion. Now I think a little bit more logically. And, you know, I just think as girls, we have hormones, and it's just, girls just kind of go through a lot of shit. I always say that, but fuck, after being pregnant, damn, we go through some shit. Okay, so like I said, this was St. Patrick's Day 2 years ago. I was still in college. I think I was going to school full time. I was going to RCC. I can't really remember, but it was for sure generals ed classes. My parents had went to Mexico, and I felt so bad. My mom already knows this story or whatever happened this day or whatever, and like I apologize to her, you know. But you know, when we're young, wild, and free, we want to do whatever the fuck we want, and we think we're thugs, and you know, just we kind of go through that phase. So I went through my drinking phase, like the phase where you drink whatever it is, whoever hands you a drink. Well, not, I wasn't that stupid. Like, oh, like I'm just gonna let any random person get me a drink. I would always make sure that I was at the bar or whatever. And I was underage. Like, it trips me out how like it's not so easy to get into clubs or like bars when you're underage, because you have to have like a fake ID. But I can't remember how I got in this time. I think I had one of my old friends' ID, and it was already late at night. You know how they check cards, like when you go to a bar, they check your card like when it's barely starting, like around 10 o'clock. Well, depending what bar that you go to. I don't know if you guys remember, but there used to be a bar called Killarney's. Was it called Killarney's? Yeah, Killarney's. And that was located in Riverside, at the Riverside Plaza. It's not there anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, so my parents decided to go to Mexico, and they had taken my sister with them, and my dad went also. So they told us that they were just going to leave me and my brother at our house, like by ourselves. So I was like, hell yeah, like we're about to turn up and stuff like that. And then she hits me with the, oh, tus abuelitos van a ir porque, yeah, we don't trust you guys with the house, and yeah, you guys need supervision. So I was just like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Like, I love my grandparents to death. Like, I love when they come over. But, you know, when you're trying to turn up and stuff, like, it just kind of kills your vibe. So I was just like, oh my God. During this time, like, obviously none of my friends were 21. So I would kick it with, like, my cousin, and I would kick it with some other homies or whatever. This is a time I would kick it with, like, a lot of guys during this time. And I had one homegirl, she lives in Texas now. She was my party girl partner that I would always like want to go out with, because she was already older than me. So she used to always go with me. But this time around, no one wanted to go out. And I really, really wanted to go out because I'm like, my parents are home. I believe it was on a Tuesday. I know it was on a school night. But I didn't give a fuck if I had homework. I just really, really wanted to go out. So my grandparents were staying at my house, and I was like, how am I gonna sneak out? And I was waiting for my grandparents to go to sleep, and like my friends were like, dude, like, what time are you gonna come? And I was like, hey, like, can you come and swoop me or whatever? And it was already like 11 o'clock, 11 something, and I was like getting ready in my room, and I had locked the door, and I was like listening. Like, I would literally put my ear to the door to make sure my grandparents were already going to sleep. And I already had my plan. I knew how I was going to sneak out the window. And I told my brother, I was like, hey, like, you know, I'm going to go out or whatever. And my brother's not the type to, like, snitch or whatever. So he was like, all right, dude, just be careful, you know, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, you're not going to tell me? All right, cool. So then I get ready. I put on my red lipstick or whatever. Actually, I have a picture of that night. Oh my God, I remember it because I went out with my cousin that day. Yeah, so it was exactly 2 years ago. And that was the picture. I don't know if you guys can see, that's me. That is my cousin Ivan right here. I'm sure you guys have seen him downtown Riverside. Like, he is always there, like, turning up. He's someone fun to, like, go out with or whatever. And then those two in the back, that's his cousin, and then his homie or whatever. And in my hand I have one of the drinks. Oh my God, I already get Oscar thinking about it. But anyways, so I finally got ready. I put on my red lipstick. I was like, okay, I look cute. Like, I put on my little shorts, like, whatever. I had made sure that I wore my push-up bra so my chichis look good. Put on my perfume. You know the drill. You know what you guys gotta do to look cute and, you know, single ready to mingle at the club or whatever. And so finally I grew the balls to, like, open my window and finally sneak out. And, you know, keep in mind, I've never snuck out of my house. Like, I've never done that. I was never the type to do that. But I was just so desperate to go out. So then I hit up my friend. I'm like, hey, like, come pick me up. And so he's like, all right, like, I'm outside right now. I'm like, all right, like, hold up. So I had on my high heels, but I was like, I'm not gonna, like, have my high heels on while I'm sneaking out. And I took off my high heels, and I was like slowly opening the door, like, or the window. It was already like 12 o'clock, I believe. So I was like slowly opening the door, like, hoping my grandparents wouldn't hear. But they would never think that about me. So I don't know why I was so paranoid about getting caught. But I was just like, imagine if, like, they wake up and then they find me or something happens. Like, I was just thinking the worst. But I'm like, it's cool, like, you know, the bar closes at 2 o'clock, so I'll be back by 2, whatever, or so I fucking thought. And then I got out, and then I closed the window back up, And then I fucking booked it. I went into the car and I was like, alright, I was feeling good. I was like, alright, I put my high heels on. I told him, I was like, dude, I sneaked out or whatever. And I was like, is there a lot of people? And he was like, yeah, like, you know, it's pretty cracking. Like, you know, people are already kind of like drunk or whatever. And so I was like, damn. I was like, you know, when you get to the club where you're like the last one to get to the bar or whatever and you're like not drunk and like everybody else is already like drunk. So I'm like, oh my God, like I have to like get on their level, you know? So then we get there and I was nervous because I was like, what if they don't let me in? Like, that's really going to kill my night because I went through all this trouble to sneak out. You know, I'm risking a lot for me to get in trouble and they're not going to let me in. He's like, no, don't trip. Like, they'll let you in because it's already like towards the end of the night. And I don't think they're really being that strict on checking people. So I was like, all right, cool. So we get there and there was no line, so it was just the person who was checking the IDs, and I was just like, please, like, let me in, please. And I was like acting like I'm 21 or whatever, and then I give him the ID and he was just like, all right, we'll have fun. And I was just like, I was like, oh my God, they finally let me in. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, like, what's up, what's Gucci though? And then I meet up with my cousin or whatever, and he's like with his homies or whatever, and they're like, dang, like, Jenny, like, you're out or whatever, like, you got in, how'd you get in, like, you know, because they know I'm not 21. And then my friend had offered me some drinks. He's like, what do you want? And I was like, at that time, like, I was like into Remy and cranberry, so I was like, just give me a Remy and cranberry. And he comes back with 2 Remy and cranberries, and they were like the big cups. And oh my God, like, just talking about it like really makes my stomach hurt. Ew. Ew. That is the number one thing that I have not been able to like stand, like, is like smelling liquor or like thinking about liquor since I've been pregnant. Beer is another story. Sometimes I do crave a beer, but alcohol, it just, oh my God, hold on, you guys. Like, I'm really getting grossed out. I really don't want to throw up. Well, I have to finish telling you guys a story. I'm like kind of like halfway or whatever. Um, so he brings me the drinks and I take a sip of the drink. Dude, it was one of those drinks that was like so strong. Like, the bartender really wants to like fuck you up. I took a sip of it and I got fucking chills, dude. Like, my hairs were standing up. But I didn't give a fuck. And they were like, yeah, like, chug it, whatever. And I'm like, yeah. So I chugged both of them. Literally with one. I would have been good with one. But you know when people are like peer pressuring you or whatever, and if you fall into peer pressure, which is so fucking stupid. And since I wasn't driving, I was like, I'm not driving, you know? Like, my parents are at home, so I was like feeling good or whatever. So I finished those 2 drinks. And then while like I was drinking or whatever, I had seen my ex and he was with this girl that he was like fucking around with or whatever. So, you know, when you run into your ex, or, you know, you kind of like dealing with those types of problems and you have alcohol in your system, you start to get a little emotional. Just like I turn around and look at my cousin and I'm just like, and he was like, come on, because he knows that he knew that I had been dealing like with problems. It's like, what do you want? And I'm just like, you know, de coraje, like tragos amargos. Like, it was kind of like one of those moments. So I was just like, you know what? I was like, fuck it, like, just, you know, get me whatever. And he orders 2 shots of Fireball. So I fucking took that shot as soon as they gave it to me, and I was like, whatever. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good or whatever. And then I can't, like, it just kind of like started to be a blur that night. I don't really exactly remember. I know I had taken another shot after that happened, and then after that I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I was like starting to like feel really emotional and stuff. And I was just like, I went in there and I was like, don't cry, bitch, don't cry. I was in there by myself because I wasn't there with any of my girlfriends, so I was just like, don't fucking cry, bitch, like, don't cry. So then I go into the stall and I call my friend Janitza and I'm just like, dude, like, and I started telling her about like what I was feeling. You know how we always do those fucking drunk calls like about our exes and fucking whatnot. And she was just like, oh my God, like, are you okay or whatever. I was like, whatever, like, fuck him. And so then like I went outside and then my cousin was waiting for me because he knew that I was in the bathroom. And he was waiting outside for me with the shot. So again, I took another fucking shot. So I was already pretty buzzed and it was already almost the end of the night. Like, they were already like turning on the lights, but I was just like feeling so sad That is one thing, girls. Please, please, please. I learned my lesson after this night. Well, not really. I had a few more hangovers after this, but I made a promise to myself that I will not drink or abuse any type of drug or alcohol when going through emotional problems. I know a lot of us girls tend to do that. You can't sit here and tell me that that's not a lie. We like to drink when we're sad, and alcohol is a depressant, so it's obviously gonna like, you know, make you more sad, and it can become like a really big problem. So I was drinking or whatever, and I was like so sad and so depressed or whatever for the rest of the night. It was because of the alcohol or whatever. And then right before we were gonna leave, I went and I bought myself another shot. I went and I got myself a shot of Remy. So I was pretty fucking loaded that night. And so we got out or whatever, and I was like, woo, like the night was almost over. And then anyways, we're in the car, and my homegirl Anna, she takes out her blunt, and she was like, did you want to smoke? And I was just like, all right, you know, like I'll take a hit, whatever, me being all ballsy and shit. I think I took like 3 hits of that. So keep in mind, I was already very drunk. And when you smoke weed when you're drunk, you're pretty much going to get very turned up. Like if you don't have a high tolerance for weed, it's just when you're on that level drunk, it's just kind of like you should not be smoking weed. But I didn't care. So we drove to my friend's house, and we get there, and I was just feeling like shit. Like I didn't think that I was going to get hungover or anything. I was not expecting that because I have drinking a lot. Like back in the day, I was very I had a high tolerance for alcohol. Like I was able to drink, and like I wouldn't get really bad hangovers. I would wake up the next day feeling a little shitty, but I wouldn't like throw up. So I sit down on the couch, and when I sit down on the couch, the whole room is just fucking spinning, because you know when you're high you kind of feel like lifted, and then when you're drunk like the room spins this way. And I just sat on the couch, and like I just like kind of like tilted my head back, and I closed my eyes, and it was even worse when I closed my eyes. Like everything was just like spinning, and then out of nowhere I was just like, I think I'm gonna throw up. And everybody was like, oh my god, like she's gonna throw up. I was like, and then they brought a bag, and as soon as they gave me the bag, I just started throwing up like bad. They took me to the bathroom. It was just like, it's all a blur now or whatever. And I ran to the bathroom, and it's funny because they make fun of me because they call me they called me Bambi at that time. I haven't really talked to a lot of the people that I used to kick with back then, but they called me Bambi at the time because I had on my high heels, and I would like run, and I would like slip and fucking eat it, but like still trying to run to like make it to the bathroom. So I finally made it to the bathroom, and I was just throwing up. Like it was just to the point where I thought I had alcohol poisoning, and I wanted to go to the hospital to get my stomach pumped or something. It was one of those days. And I was just like throwing up, and like I had my head over the toilet, and every time I would throw up, it was literally like I was taking the shot of alcohol every time I threw up the alcohol. And my friend Anna, she was holding my hair back, and I was just like, oh my god, like I'm just gonna stay here, like I'm sorry. Like I'm the type of person that, for one, is scared of throwing up. I hate when people listen to me throw up. And everybody was in the bathroom with me like, hey, like, are you okay or whatever? And I just kept throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. I just remember like kind of like falling asleep like on the side of the toilet like this, and then kind of like waking up. And then I just remember my cousin handing me a water bottle, and he's like, here, like drink this, chug it, and make yourself throw up so that way you know, you can get rid of all the alcohol. I felt so sick that like I said, I wanted to go to the hospital, but I remembered, I'm like, first of all, I shouldn't even be out right now. Second of all, my grandparents don't know that I'm out, and I'm over here like doing stupid shit like this. And eventually like I went on the couch, and it's funny because like I just like Michael stay like on his couch, and I was just like I'm cold, like can you bring me a cobijita or something? And then like he brought me a cobijita, and I finally fell asleep. So then I'm laying down on the couch, and then like they woke me up, and they were like, Jenny, like wake up, like we gotta take you home. My cousin was like, we gotta take you home. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what time is it? It was 6 in the morning, dude. I had never been out that late, like ever, ever. So I was like, oh shit, I was like, I have school in like 2 hours. So they drove me back home. I was feeling like shit. Like I still had asco. My mouth was dry as fuck. Like, you know when you're so dehydrated and you wake up the next day hungover? My head was pounding and I was like, fuck. So my cousin dropped me off in front of my house, and then like I ran to my room. I was like, fuck, I hope my grandparents aren't awake. So then like I opened everything. I was like, okay, I gotta get ready for school. I fucking took off my lipstick. I think I left on the makeup, or I don't remember if I took it off, or I went into the shower to shower because I was just like, oh my god, and the water was hitting me. I was like, oh my god, I'm so hungover. I was like, órale, tú querías, órale. So I was like, you're gonna go to fucking school. Like I was fucking being responsible or whatever. So then I go to school. I drive myself in my little buggy. I can't remember if I drove myself or if I had my friend pick me up to go to school. I get to school, the sun is scorching. I walk into my world religions class feeling like shit, and everybody was just staring at me because I was just like, I looked so pale and I was so down. Keep in mind, like I was throwing up all night, and my friends were like, damn Jenny, like what happened? And I was like, dude, like I went out last night, like I shouldn't have gone out last night, and it was just bad. Like I remember I got up and I left class because I was like, I cannot deal with it. I kept getting chills. It was hot and then it was cold, and then after that my friends took me to go buy a Gatorade and I started rehydrating or whatever. But yeah, that was my drunk story. I would love to hear your drunk stories. Leave them in the comments down below because those are fucking funny. Like I have a few more drunk stories, but that's probably like my worst drunk story for St. Patrick's Day. I don't ever drink like that anymore, nor do I want to. But you know, when you go through one of those experiences, you kind of only need one to kind of get over it. But yeah, man, that shit was cray. Um, but yeah, I'm fucking tired already. What time is it? It's already 12:30. I gotta go to sleep already. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see what's in store for next video. Alright? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one.